Ever since the day that you went away, you went away.
Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Andra. I make commentary videos on pop culture and influencers. Today's video is gonna be yet another video on the whole Killjoy situation because there was something that I wanted to say in my previous video, which is called something like 5 ways in which Killjoy has lost her credibility. And if you want to check that video out, if you haven't already, feel free to. I will be putting it somewhere up here. It does have a sprinkle of my own political views, which are, well, you can call me whatever you want. Socialist, communist, Marxist, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter to me because ultimately the same purpose is, you know, for like all of these groups is to tear down the corrupt system of capitalism. So I don't really care what you think the label should be for that. I did ruffle a few feathers with my video and did get some comments from liberals and Trump supporters alike. So if you don't want to hear a leftist point of view, especially an Eastern European leftist, because somehow we are kind of scary for most Americans because of the whole Cold War deal, then don't check that video out. But this one is not going to be political. It's just going to be based off of things that Without a Crystal Ball has been doing and how she's been building this image of herself being a victim. I watched this short clip, which I'm going to put on the screen in a second. I'm going to be creating all the clips that I find that have been deleted from Katie Joy's channel or that have been temporary lives on Instagram and stuff like that I found on other sources. I will be creating all of this in my description box. Some of the videos were still up on Without a Crystal Ball's channel, so I'm not gonna link those ones. But obviously, credit goes to her channel, you know this already. I saw this video in which she's been portraying herself as the big victim of the whole situation between Tati and Jeffrey and Shane and everyone else, whereas we know that the real victim was James Charles. And ultimately, even if you don't like him, I'm not personally a fan of his. I don't dislike him, but I don't like him. So I'm just in between. I'm neutral. I don't really care. But objectively, he was the victim in this situation because they almost drove him to suicide. They almost ended his entire career, his entire livelihood at the start of his life, when I don't think he has any superior studies or anything that he could use as a backup should his YouTube career end. So they were fucking him over like big time. So Katie Joy is obviously not the victim, but she wants us to see her as the victim. I'm gonna show you guys the way that Katie Joy has been treating and talking about Tati before, because I feel like we need a refresher. Some of these videos are months old, so maybe looking at them with a pair of fresh eyes with all we know now about the lawsuit will be good for us, and show you guys exactly why she is the opposite of a victim. She's the aggressor, she's the bully in this equation.
I'm talking about how evil Jeffree Star is and what a terrible human being he is and what he's done to people and how everyone is scared of him. And it made me realize that I am in the situation I am in right now because of Jeffree Star, and I'm the scapegoat. And the hell that I've been put through in the last 3 months has been the worst that I've ever gone through. But there's someone that's going through something even worse right now, and they need your prayers badly. Jeffree Star is, in my opinion, not a good person. A lot of these people are not good people, and
so I assume that in the context of this live, the person that is going through worse would be Trisha, but I just think it's so insane that she still doesn't realize what she's done wrong after so long. So many empty apologies and platitudes, and she still doesn't realize what she's done wrong. Like, for me, that's insane. This thing has been going on since, well, like the end of October, start of November. So we are now in February, and it's been 3 months, and like over 3 months already, and she doesn't realize that what she did with Tati was wrong. And she keeps on trying to find other people guilty of the whole thing. I just don't understand why you cannot analyze the situation from our point of view as viewers, like people who don't know you, people who don't maybe know everything, but we still can objectively see the way that you talked about Tati, that it was highly disrespectful, borderline bullying. It's just different from what most commentary channels would ever do, and I do not understand how it's so hard for you to see that, and you're calling yourself the scapegoat of the whole Jeffree Star situation. Like, you are a tiny channel in a sea of channels. You're not important enough to be the scapegoat. You're not impactful enough to do anything. The only reason why Tati is suing you is, in my opinion, and this is obviously, I don't know all the facts, I only know what I'm being shown publicly. In my opinion, the only reason Tati is suing without a crystal ball is because Tati wanted initially the information that was published in the other lawsuit, the one that Swanson has against Tati. Tati wanted that information about her husband's previous fraud case and everything like that to be not public, and she wanted to keep her other lawsuit personal. I believe Clark Swanson might have sent the lawsuit to Without a Crystal Ball personally and involved her in this drama, because Without a Crystal Ball would have been maybe on Tati's radar because of her allegations that she's been making since before. So I believe that if Katie Joy happens to be the scapegoat, it won't be for Jeffree Star, it will be the scapegoat that Clark Swanson has chosen to get him out of the public eye in the whole Tati lawsuit. I don't think Tati needs a scapegoat, because she's fucking Tati. She's a lot bigger, a lot more important than you. So it just makes no sense. But maybe the other guy does, because he has money, he has influence, but he has influence only inside of the industry. He doesn't have influence in the public eye in the same way that Tati does. So that would make sense. That is like the maximum that I'm willing to believe.
I wish people had the actual, I wish I wasn't the scapegoat and they just weren't afraid of Jeffree Star, because it's just deplorable. Jeffree Star is loaded and he's evil. But we're going to talk about Trisha. No, I'm not okay. It's been the worst 3 months of my life. And I am the scapegoat. Jeffree Star is the person, in my opinion, who was blamed for all of what I'm going through. So
you had the worst 3 months of your life. I'm sorry, but it's your own doing. Like, it's no one else's doing. Katie Joy is not a victim. She did this by herself. You made your bed, now lie in it. Like, it's not, you're the scapegoat for what? Why would people like this need a scapegoat? They would fight it out in court because they all have money. They can afford to do something like that. You're not the scapegoat. You made a mistake, you harassed someone for months. You got sent 4 cease and desist and you refused to do so. So now, the worst 3 months of your life, they're your own doing. And I don't understand, the mannerisms that Katie Joy talks in are very weird. I know people have been speculating that she's using different substances, because she keeps like picking her nose, she keeps doing like weird things, movements with her lips and stuff. Like, I know I move my hands a lot, but it's like an Eastern European thing, and it's like an anxiety thing too. So, you know, it's like different. The way that she does it is a little bit unsettling when I watch it, and the long pauses that she makes in the middle of the sentence are like weird as well. Because, like, I know I talk fast. It's like, again, an Eastern European thing, but the way that she talks is almost like she can't keep her head straight. She can't keep her thoughts together. So it's just a little unsettling. I would say, Katie Joy, if you have a problem, maybe take it offline, honestly. And this is only my opinion and the opinion of others. This is not obviously proven as far as I know. Maybe it is, I don't know.
you know what, Melissa? You would not be laughing if you knew what I knew and what is going on right now. None of you should be laughing about this, because what's going on is so serious. This isn't funny. It's life or death.
Life or death sounds so dramatic. It's not, and we can laugh at it because you have been laughing at others for so long. I'm gonna show you in this video some clips, guys, of Katie Joy literally laughing at Tati having different problems and her videos flopping and stuff, and she's like laughing there. So I don't know, maybe practice what you preach and don't cry when people do the same thing that you've been doing, but they do it to you, so now it's not fine anymore. I don't get it. How much of a hypocrite do you have to be? And next up, I wanted to show you guys this. You might have seen it already. It was horrible to watch. I have heard about this. Katie Joy talking about the experience of her almost losing her child, and people in the chat were talking about their own experiences with losing children, which were obviously extremely sad. And what does Katie Joy do? She gets upset that people are talking about their own experiences and not only talking about hers. This one woman, literally her child died, and Katie Joy is scolding her for sharing that her child died. Whereas Katie Joy's child is obviously still alive, although I can understand having an experience of, almost losing your child is traumatizing. Even if the child makes it out alive, it's still traumatizing. I understand. But you are so privileged and fortunate that your child is still alive when so many women end up losing their children, and you shouldn't act like this shit. Like, when I saw this, I was like, this is unacceptable. And this is a members only chat. These people are paying. They are paying to be insulted for free. Like, go and ask for a refund. Go to your bank, ask for a fucking refund. Stop spending money on people like this. This is actually disgusting to me. That somebody would treat people who provide them with a livelihood in this fucking manner. It's just disgusting. I hate it.
You something really serious, and you guys are just like talking about things that are unrelated. I actually think I'm gonna go. It's weird to like be opening up and all I see is you guys sitting there talking about yourselves. So you guys are being really rude. Like, it's weird. I was like gonna turn chat off. Like, I honestly can't imagine like sitting here and having someone open up to you about the hardest day of their lives, and you're sitting there talking to strangers and you're literally just like not even listening and you're just talking about yourself.
Katie Joy, did you even read the fucking chat of what these people were saying? This woman, Susan, was talking about how she lost her child to cancer. And you are here literally saying that you guys are making it about your... Shut the fuck up. For real. If people do this, when, for example, when somebody talks about something like bad that happened to them, and you say, yeah, something similar happened to me, whatever, it's not always to make it about yourself. A lot of time is because you want to relate to that person. This is a way to show more empathy. If you relate because you know it happened to you, you can kind of express that, yeah, this happened to me, so I understand how you feel. This is not making it about yourself. This is not distracting others. They are talking to each other, which obviously is a good thing, because you want your community to be united and talk to each other and to make friends, because that way it's only giving you more clout and it's helping you. So I don't understand why this is such a big deal. And this is a live in which, I'm sorry, but Katie Joy, the fucking pace at which you talk is not normal. You talk like a robot. You talk so slowly that I could type a fucking essay and still listen to you and follow what you're saying, because you talk so slowly. Like, I swear to God. I don't know if this is like an American thing, because all the videos that I watch with Americans, I watch them on the speed, like twice, double the speed, because they speak like this, like literally, and speaking so slow. And like, I'm not mocking, guys. I know this is obviously like normal. Maybe in some parts of America, it's just like a cultural thing. So I'm not saying that the fact that we speak fast is okay and the fact that you guys speak slow is bad. I'm just saying that it's very easy to speak and to listen to someone who speaks like this at the same time. It's very easy to multitask when somebody is like that. So I don't understand why she thinks that if people are chatting, they can't listen to her simultaneously and chat. Like, it's not impossible. If you have fucking brain cells, you can do it too, Katie.
And now the chat is focusing on Susan and Debbie. So I don't even know if you guys were listening. I understand that you're talking about what happened to you, but when you're chatting and I'm talking, how do you listen to me? It seems kind of rude to me. So, I don't know if I would do something like that. It just killed my mood. It's a hard day. It's hard to even like, but I can't, you're sharing with me while I'm talking. I can't read with you and you're talking and then it's taking over the entire chat. All I see is people talking about their own stuff, and I'm not trying to be selfish, but it's like, man, I just want to share something and I just want people to listen. Thank you, Molly, for becoming a member.
Taking over the entire chat of like 5 people speaking because nobody fucking cares enough to watch you live. How can you be so fucking heartless? And this is literally like, I don't even know, like psychopath behavior. Because how can you show no emotions? How is it possible when people are like this? They are so sad. And Susan, the person that is being scolded for being sad that her fucking daughter is dead, she is the one apologizing to Katie Joy. Like, I don't understand. You want the person to apologize to you when you are the guilty one. You don't apologize back for misunderstanding the whole situation, and you don't even accept her apology. Like, what the fuck do you want? Do you want donations? Is that what you want? Do you want pity? Nobody's gonna fucking pity you because you're a horrible fucking human being.
It's weird. I've gotten used to this weird thing about when you live in this world, because it's like, if you're trying to talk about your own life while I'm talking, you're not actually listening. You guys are talking and you're not listening, and I'm having a hard day. And I like appreciate my members so much, but man.
Do you appreciate them? Do you appreciate them if you don't even bother to read the chat, to see what they're talking about, and to have a dialogue with them? You just want a monologue. You want to be on a fucking stage like a fucking celebrity, and you want people to listen to you. And I don't know, this is like fucking Johnstown vibes. Like, this is not a normal way. If I had a live, I'm not gonna do a live anytime soon because I don't have the proper equipment. Like, my webcam is shit, and I don't have like proper like nice headphones with speakers and stuff that I could do a live with. But if I were to do a live, I would listen and read the messages. I would talk a little bit and then wait and see what like the chat responds, interact with them, and then switch the topic to like whatever I want to talk about. Like, this is supposed to be interactive. This is not a fucking concert. It's a live, right? And you do these lives to talk to your supporters. But it seems like you don't want to hear your supporters. You only want to have a fucking monologue. You want to be on a stage. You want to be worshipped like your fucking cult leader. No, this is not normal.
This is what happens in this world when you have a child that's sick, is that when one person opens up, then everyone else has to pile their stories on and talk about their life too. And sometimes all you want is someone to listen and not have to tell you about what they went through. You just want someone to hear what you said and to understand, and to not make it about themselves.
Again, nobody's making it about themselves. They are relating to you. That is how they show that they care about what you're trying to say, by saying they understand. And I'm sorry, Katie, but if this were the Operation Olympics, you'd fucking lose, because that woman has actually lost her child. And you are here, and you are spending 24/7 on your fucking social media instead of spending time with your child. It makes me feel like maybe you got gifted too much. Maybe, and I'm not saying anything should have happened to that child, because obviously it's not the child's fault that the mother is fucking irresponsible and narcissistic and insane like this. It's not the child's fault. However, if you got gifted a second chance with your child and you waste it by arguing with people on the internet who are only trying to be nice to you, maybe you didn't deserve a fucking second chance. And again, I'm not saying anything should have happened to the child. I'm just saying that Katie Joy maybe didn't deserve as much as she was given in life, because she's throwing it all away. She's taking advantage of everything. She's taking everything for granted. She's not a good person. She's not the person who shows gratitude for the second chance that she was given to have a child, because she doesn't fucking care about the child. Like, this is what I'm being made to feel like. I have defended her as a mother time and time again in my videos. I would say, guys, don't pick on the fact that she's maybe not the best mother, like the most present mother, because we don't know why it's like maybe the father of the child is the one who spends time with the child, whatever. I kept picking on that. But I'm tired of Katie Joy using the child thing as a stop story to make us feel something for her, but she doesn't even show us that she cares about a child. We don't know what's happening behind the camera, so we only know what's happening on camera. And on camera, I've seen her ignore the child. I've seen her get the father of the child to take the child away when she's filming because she's busy doing the fucking lives. Like, no. I have stopped filming multiple times to spend time with my cat. My cat, not even a child. But because I love my cat. In a way that you maybe at least like that. You should love your own child. I'm just saying.
And have a conversation. If I were sitting with you face to face, I highly doubt that you would interrupt and start talking about your own experience when I'm in the middle of telling you something extremely traumatic that happened to me. We as parents start competing in a way with one another that like our experience was worse or we understood it more. I saw people commenting to other people and not it just looked like you guys were having a good old time in there, and I just wanted to come on and tell my story.
So a few things about this part. Saying you guys had a good old time in there when they were sharing traumas is disgusting. It's a disgusting comment to make. This woman was talking about how her child had died and you're saying she has a good time. Do you think she was having a fucking party dancing to Drake when she's talking about how her child died? Like, how can you fucking say something like that? And I'm looking at the chat now, and this woman, Susan, is literally like defending herself, and people are scolding her in the chat too. So Susan saying, I'm listening, and you asked if anyone had been in that situation, and I responded. So KJ asked, and then she's not letting people answer. This makes me feel like, again, she doesn't want to have a dialogue. She doesn't care about her supporters. Doesn't. And another girl who just joined the chat and like joined the membership, she said that I really felt like I had to join the chat and step in to defend Katie, pretty much. Like, this is dumb, and congratulations, you got gaslit by Katie Joy, because that's why she's doing this act, to get more money, and you are a fucking idiot for joining. Like, I don't know what more to say. I don't know. You got tricked. You got fooled. I don't know.
And facts that are found through court documents, through state records, through records online. And I'm not talking about stuff that you can just Google. I'm talking birth certificates. I'm talking like lineage, death certificates, all that good stuff. There's so much that goes into my articles. And if you're not familiar with me from Patheos, I host a column on Patheos called Without a Crystal Ball, one in LA Superior Court with a lender for a lot of dollars. And I was told that that's hearsay, that I have no proof. And I wanted to sort of clear something up. Hearsay is not hearsay if they have documents to support what they're saying.
Notice how fucking smug she is about the fact that she literally got legal documents, birth certificates, death certificates. Like, you have to be like insane to search for these things. This is the video that got deleted, that, you know, people were going crazy over, about how, you know, she got sued over this video, and she deleted it. So I found it on another channel. I'm gonna leave in my description which channel it was, because I don't really remember off the top of my head. But the fact that she's laughing when she's saying this is concerning to me, because no sane, normal person would think to search these things. And I know that there are some journalists who would, for sure, but I don't think most publications would go as far as to do this unless the person that they're talking about is truly horrible or like extremely famous, like on an international level. Tati is quite famous on the YouTube platform, but she's not an A-list celebrity, so it doesn't warrant something like this. For sure, this is too far, this is insane and dumb. I hate when KJ is trying to argue the fact that these are public records. If they are public records, then why are you saying, oh, this cannot be Googled? They are technically public, yeah, but they're not public enough that they would be accessible for everybody, especially for people like me who don't live in the United States. So no, they're not really public. Public is just the name that you give to them in the way that, yeah, you can find them if you really want to. But public in the broad sense of the term would just mean easily Googleable, which these are not. So I just think Katie Joy is using dubious semantics on purpose to confuse people and to suit her own narrative.
And his sister, there was also some speculation on, oh, his sister's name isn't Julie Robinson. A website online says that that's his name. Like, seriously, you guys, do you think that I just went off some website to figure out who his family was? No. That's not how this works. Court documents show that his daughter, and you can look into their genealogy, even her birth certificate I was able to find. Her name is Julie, last name is, just because it says online that her name is, that's her name. And just because it says in a court document that her name is Julie's sister. Then they were accusing me of, well, that's not even his mom's last name, because his mom is, oh, Linda at second time. Her first husband, James's fault, and Linda was still really young. She got married, she changed her last name. Her husband actually died in 2008, but she never changed her last name because he was deceased, and she never remarried after that, okay? So was it not his family? The mom's name was Linda. The sister's name was The other sister listed in this, the other sister listed in the court document was Cheryl. That's all public record. The father's name was Sydney, who was his father. It's literally this is literally like his family. We're saying, well, this was just a family dispute over property and a messy family fight over an estate. That's actually not what this was about.
Notice the amount that she's like rubbing her nose once again. Here's the thing. You're laughing as you're literally doxing the entire family. And these people, they're not all public, right? If Tati is public and her husband by extension has been in her public videos, so he's kind of public too, it doesn't mean that the entire fucking family is public. If, for example, people made a video talking about me, I would not really care, because although I'm not like a big YouTuber, obviously, I did sign up to this website knowing that one day I might grow on this platform and I might get videos made about me. Fucking stupid Eastern European girl, whatever. Like, I know that this could happen, right? But if my parents get involved, one of whom barely uses any social media, and the other who just uses social media for his own like entertainment purposes, not to be a public figure, I would be very fucking mad too. Especially because my surname is not public. Even my first name on socials is not my like actual first name. So I don't use my real name for a reason, you know? And if people did this shit to me, then I would be pissed too. So I just don't think it's normal to laugh when you're saying this. And in the original video that I found, the names have been censored, which is good, because I didn't want to hear the full doxes of people that are not even public. I didn't want to have to hear this, and I didn't want to have to manually go through the whole thing and censor it myself, so great that it was already done.
This was about a sister being completely left in the dark that had previously been assigned as a power of attorney and a state grant, like a state trustee, who was taken out of this planning while her mother was on her deathbed in a completely vulnerable situation, and had legal documents that had made her previously the estate. And then James changed that only days before she died and had his mother sign a quit claim deed while on her deathbed. That's weird, you guys. And if you don't think that's weird, I don't know what to tell you. Long history of lawsuits and criminal activity, and he had taken money from his mother. That's not disputed. And there was also some arguments about the mortgages. Well, he didn't take those mortgages out. He took his mom signed for those mortgages. The implication here is that those mortgages were actually taken out when his mother was in very poor health, extremely poor health, to the extent that she was not in a mindset.
Right, so why do we care about this? This is my main question. Unless you can prove that the money from his illegal activities or from the whole situation of his mother was used somehow to boost Tati's career or to be reinvested in Halo Beauty or like something like that, that could actually affect the whole public figure side of things for Tati, then if you can't prove that, then it's not relevant, because you are not the law. You're not a lawyer, you're not a judge, you're not the organ of law. So it's not for you to decide if this guy should be in prison or not. Obviously, the legal system is not perfect. There are a lot of people who do bad things and they get away with it. Like, I'm not arguing otherwise. However, it's not Katie's decision because she's not educated enough on the matter to speak on this. Personally, I graduated art university, so I wouldn't get myself involved in talking about lawsuits and, you know, the legal terminology and all that, because I know that I'm not equipped for that. Katie Joy, writing for a Christian magazine, does not make her a journalist. And Katie Joy, making shitty YouTube commentary videos with poor editing and like so many editing mistakes that I'm gonna point out later, does not make her, again, a journalist or a reporter or whatever the fuck she wants to be. It doesn't make her that. It just makes her another drama channel. So maybe it's time to get off the high horse and wake up and snap back to reality.
So I want to just be very transparent here. I wrote an article when I was writing for Pathios about Tati and James Westbrook shortly after everything happened with the Bi Sister video. Over the course of several weeks, I conducted a search of all kinds of different backgrounds to understand sort of the motivations that Tati Westbrook might have had to upload a video against her competitor James Charles because of vitamins. Now, obviously, Tati has come forward and blames Jeffree Star for forcing her to upload it, and she says that, you know, Shane Dawson was the person that convinced her to upload the video, and she was fed lies, and it wasn't about vitamins, and it wasn't about this, and it wasn't about that. But obviously the vitamins played a catalyst role because it was that anger of hers or that frustration she felt about James promoting another set of vitamins that propelled her into a place where she makes this video, talks about the vitamins for more than half of the video, and then ultimately leads to James losing millions of subscribers. The story was obviously a humongous story. It was covered everywhere. Major outlets, you know, CNN and NBC and all of these huge stories. I mean, all these huge media networks covered the story because of the number of subscribers that James Charles lost because of the video that she made. Well, it turns out that Tati has now come out to apologize to James Charles and now blames Jeffree and Shane. But there was a time when during this whole component, I was doing some background searches on Tati to figure out if there were things in her background that might motivate her to try to essentially take a competitor down, because that's what it looked like to me, and that was my opinion. She was angry about someone who was promoting a competing brand. She was frustrated with someone who has a platform like hers that has beauty. You know, it was one of those exposed videos where you're exposing, but then you're also like trying to ruin in the same breath.
Exposing but trying to ruin someone in the same breath. So like what you're doing pretty much. Right. Bringing up mainstream media platforms and news channels and stuff to strengthen your argument that you are right to talk about Tati. I don't think anybody's saying you shouldn't talk about Tati. I think people are saying don't fucking look up her birth certificate, which I don't think those news channels did that, because otherwise I do think she would have sued them, because they would have given her money out of court. Usually when something happens with like big news media outlets and stuff, they will settle out of court and give money. So she would have done that if she had the opportunity, but nobody else did what you did. So I don't understand the comparison. I don't understand bringing them up. I know it's to wash your hands of any guilt or whatever. I know that's your intention, but it doesn't work. And again, talking about how you were looking for why she might have been motivated to make the video on James Charles. We all know that it was about vitamins. Like, I don't think that's a secret anymore. However, I don't think her husband's personal life with his family is anything to do with that. Like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't think it's your business. I don't think it's our business. So I really don't understand the connection between these things. Maybe you set out to search for what you said, but you found this and you still decided to publish it, although it had no correlation with what you said. It had no correlation with the By Sister scandal, but you still decided to publish it. So that's on you.
I did this search and I started uncovering a lot of things about her husband and her that were kind of sketch, like a lot. And I uploaded a video which was posted onto my channel last year. I have privated that video only because I was told to by another influencer, and this is where it gets tricky. So in this video that I made, I had a very small channel at the time, but I did share some very damning information about James Westbrook, including the fact that he had a current case out in the state of California by his friend William Hawk, who had lent him more than $300,000, and he was being sued for breach of contract and fraud. William had alleged that James had borrowed money and that James had never paid him back, and he had used his mother's property in Hawaii as collateral for this loan.
Notice the fact that now he's using the terminology of he alleged. So before that it was, I am right, this is the plain truth, I'm only telling the truth, this is not an allegation, this is factual. And now she's using this language. So this video was posted like a little bit before the lawsuit was announced. So I think at this point, Kate Joy had no clue of what was going to happen. She probably received another one of those cease and desists, but she didn't know that she was going to get sued. So she was being a bit cautious, but still not cautious enough, because obviously look where we ended up. It's funny, the way that she changed her tune when she got scared. Like, it's just funny to point out this thing.
Okay. Well, at the time I did the video, there was a default judgment because James Westbrook never responded. Well, it turns out James Westbrook absolutely did respond, but it was only after I made my video, and it was in his response to the court that he said that he learned about this case through an online blog. So he claims that he had no idea that Williams was suing him, and he and William are currently in mediation according to the court agreement now, where he and Williams Hawk are going to somehow work out a payment plan. I don't know. There's a jury trial scheduled for 2021 if they don't come to mediation, but it was ordered by the court to go to private mediation so they could settle this dispute. So when that opened that door, I started going to Hawaii, where I found out that his sister had actually sued him as well, related to that same property. And his sister claimed in her court documents, in federal court documents, that he had his mother sign a quitclaim deed to this property, which basically was while she was on her deathbed. And then he then subsequently recorded the property in his name before she passed away, and that when she passed, he had rights ownerships to all of her property, but his two sisters were also like 30% heirs to this stuff, all of the assets of the mother. And so the two sisters ended up suing him in court. They then subsequently find out that James had liquidated those properties, and ultimately it all comes down to he ends up losing that case and the sisters win, but I don't really understand what happened. He was ordered to pay the court the attorney's fees for his sisters. It was a mess, okay? But it was this overarching theme of there was a lot of stuff in the background of these two people that seemed to suggest they weren't making maybe the right decisions, might have some money problems, and of my belief might be motivated by money to potentially take down a competitor. Again, these were my opinions, but it helped me explain the pattern of behavior.
The problem here again is you did more than explain the pattern of behavior. You called him a career criminal, which at this point he had maybe one lawsuit that was ruled out in favor of the other person. So this was the one you're talking about with the sisters. You said he lost. I don't really know. I didn't watch the whole drama as it unfolded, so I was a bit late to the party, so I don't know all the details. But allegedly he lost that one. He lost one thing, and then he smoked weed once. That doesn't make him a career criminal. The other one, as far as we know for now, it's allegation. This is why we have the whole innocent until proven guilty. I don't think it applies, and it should apply to all crimes. I do think with sex-related crimes like rapists and stuff, I don't think we should presume them guilty, but I think we should believe the women and hold out our judgments on the men and wait. And I'm saying women because usually it happens. Obviously, it can be the other way around. Believe the survivors, always, in my opinion. But believing the survivors doesn't mean sending death threats to the people that we think abuse them or being horrible to them or destroying their lives. It means waiting, but also taking them seriously and giving them the help that they need in the meantime until the trial starts. But with this kind of stuff, like fraud and stuff, I do think that the overarching theme of innocent until proven guilty should still apply, and I don't think we should call someone a career criminal when we don't know what happened behind the scenes, when something like this could definitely go both ways. Rich people argue with rich people, welcome to capitalism, is just what it is. I said I'm not going to be political, so I'm not going to expand on that, but we don't know what the interests are behind the scenes.
I was also able to locate other things from his past that I'm not going to get into, but there's just a lot. So many of these lawsuits. There was a bankruptcy. There's just tons. And he still has active businesses in both Halo and Tati Beauty, which could be interesting because Tati had said that she was going to be releasing new vitamins, but that hasn't happened, and there's been no promotion of new vitamins, and Tati Beauty has all but stalled. So I don't know if those businesses are going to eventually end up going belly up or if she's going to continue. She hasn't been online in months. And he said, but because of a few videos you've posted have really hurt the Westbrooks with false information, and I want you to be really careful because if there's any lawsuits going on, it won't be from my end. That's all I can say. So I was like, what? Because I hadn't talked about her in a really long time. And I said, okay. And then he said, okay, so I would love to tell you all of this, but it's so much deeper and serious than anyone actually knows. Tati was pushed, and that's all I can say, because the way it happened is her story to tell and her story only, not mine. And if it ever does come out via her, you'll understand why I say that. I think you should stop posting and delete anything bad about the Westbrooks. And I say that because I want to help you. Capital YOU. Please, please, please just trust me. At this point, I am like feeling very threatened, as though he's coming into my DMs, trying to pepper me and coat me and make me feel like he's doing this because he cares. And I am feeling like there's an ulterior motive here. I'm starting to feel like someone has sent him, that he is not doing this because he cares, because why would he care? Why would he show up in my DMs out of nowhere and start telling me details about what was going on behind the scenes between him and Tati before everything came out, before her video was dropped? Why would he tell me all of this? And then why would he want me to take down videos that literally have nothing to do with him and everything to do with Tati? Unless someone sent him to do this.
Right, so this could go both ways. Like, I just think it's so funny looking back at this when she didn't even know that she was about to get sued, like literally a week later. I think this can go both ways. The first thing would be James Charles was sent by Tati, and it was a ploy to convince Katie Joy and manipulate her into deleting the videos. I don't know why that would have happened, and I don't understand, looking back at it, how this could be a feasible narrative, because why would Tati want Katie Joy to delete potential evidence if she was planning on suing her? Because this happened literally like right before she got served papers. So those papers, they don't take like 5 minutes to write. So Tati had the lawsuit planned beforehand. So why would she want evidence to be deleted? So the other possibility is just James Charles genuinely wanted to help. Not because he cares about her, like she says that I believed he cared about me. Why would he care about you? He doesn't know you. Not because he cares about her, but just because he doesn't want other people to get involved in the mess that was already happening between them four, so like Tati, James, Shane, and Jeffrey. He didn't want collateral damage because maybe he's not a fucking monster. And that's like the thing is, I don't understand how she took this the way that she took it to mean the worst, when it genuinely sounds like he was trying to help her. And like looking back at it, I do think that that's what was happening. I do think that his intentions were pretty much there. I know that he knew something that was gonna happen from Tati, and I don't think he like went behind Tati's back to be a bad person. I just think he genuinely like wanted to focus his energy as well as Tati's energy on Jeffrey and Shane, maybe.
And I feel like James has a platform to do so much better. And I feel like he used me. I feel like he lied to me. I feel like he said he cared when he didn't. I feel like after I now know that he was sent to my channel, or sent to me by the Westbrooks, allegedly, this was not about worrying about me or wanting the best for me.
I just think it's so weird to say that you thought he cared, you thought he wanted to tell, but he used you. He has like 20-something million subscribers. He doesn't need to use you. He, in my opinion, as I said, genuinely wanted to get her out of the situation because they had bigger fish to fry. So yeah, that's like my thoughts. I don't understand why she's being such a drama queen about this, and I don't understand why this video is still up and not deleted when she's humiliating herself. And literally everything that she says in this video has been proven wrong later on. So I don't understand why the video is not deleted.
This was about helping the Westbrooks get something removed that they didn't want out there that was literally public record. All of this is public record. You can still find all of these lawsuits if you want to go search.
Again, you said this is not found on Google, but now you say it's public record. Contradictions much. I don't get it.
And I sat there and I was like, okay, so I started looking and I started digging and I started finding things. I started finding public records that are not hidden, records that you can literally find online. And it's not that hard to find. And it was stuff that was like literally in the public sphere. And I started to see what was going on, I thought, and I just started sort of like, okay, so there's been some stuff in her husband's past. You know, everyone has a past, not a big deal. But I thought it was weird, you know, like this whole thing, like, oh, we're such big business people. And I was like, well, there's some stuff in his past that he's littered with, you know, whatever, no big deal.
I don't think you should concern yourself with the Westbrooks calling themselves business people when you call yourself a journalist and a reporter when you're a drama channel. Like, I genuinely don't think that should be your main concern right now. It should be, what are you doing to be actually somebody who would portray the career that you claim you have, because you don't have the career.
And I'm like, why did you care about me? Why? I had 4,000 subscribers. Why pick on me? You know, other outlets were going off at her. She was on freaking NBC, CNN. Like, everyone was calling her out and saying exactly what I was, by the way. And yet she chose me.
I don't think everyone was saying what you said. I don't think everyone was searching for birth certificates, death certificates. I don't think NBC and CNN were doing that because they get sued all the time for like petty shit. So they would try to minimize that, in my opinion. Although they have a lot of money, I do think that you don't really mess with someone who's also like as rich as Tati is. And saying that you're the only one that got picked on, when later on in like different videos or even earlier on, I don't remember the exact like order of these videos when they were posted, but she claimed about, you know, other people being attacked by Tati, like Kiki Chanel, which I know of the incident. I like Kiki, so I know like the whole thing. So you're saying you're the only victim, but now you're saying people like Kiki have also been victimized, so which one is the truth?
What I did was wrong. Okay. Anyways, I guess me talking about her is wrong. Got it. Sure.
And again, you prove that you don't think you did anything wrong and all your apologies are just empty and just lies, you know. You prove that you are a liar, you are disingenuous, you don't care about what your supporters demand of you.
Fast forward to about a week ago. I get notified from somebody that I better not ever talk about her ever again. And I'm like, what? I better not ever talk about her ever again. Okay, cool. Now I would show you guys the letters she sent me, but they literally copyrighted them.
Right, I'm gonna try to talk like Katie Joy. So, guys, it was actually James Charles. Now we know this later. Oh my god, this is so painful to like keep doing this. Right, do you get what I mean now? When I'm saying that I don't think she's like in her sober right mind when she's filming this. Like, what is this? What is this? Anyways, she said that it was James Charles later on. Now here she's saying someone sent me this DM, so this was filmed before. He didn't say you'd better not talk about her again. That's not how he phrased the whole thing. He was a lot nicer. You made it sound like it was a threat when he didn't actually threaten you. You can take it the wrong way if you want, you can be paranoid, whatever. But that's not what he said, and here is another attempt at Katie Joy being the victim. Like, that's what she's trying to do here. And now that we know the facts from the video I showed you previously, we know that this is all bullcrap.
And said I couldn't show them. Yeah, that's right. They copyrighted their cease and desist letters, and all the communication was confidential, and I wasn't able to afford an attorney. But now I have the money to afford an attorney. I have an amazing civil attorney who will back me up, hook for everything. Like, I'm not afraid of her anymore because I have the support now to actually come out here and be like, you know what, I'm not scared anymore. Like, I'm not afraid. I'm not going to just like not talk about you and like not talk about this situation because you're going to threaten to destroy me through a lawsuit.
I just feel like Katie Joy talks a lot of shit for someone who couldn't afford an attorney. Like, she acts like she has so much money that she has nothing to lose. She doesn't understand, even now in February of 2021, that she has everything to lose from this whole thing. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can be so paranoid and insane and at the same time be so unbothered and I don't care about this, whatever, and like risk everything and engage in like reckless behavior like that. I don't understand how you can be such a weird mix of both. It's like such a weird paradox.
If I make a mistake, and I make them a lot, I'll take responsibility for it. I apologize, and then I do better. And I'm sure I'll get a letter from her tomorrow and be like, oh, okay. But I'm not going to be like afraid anymore.
saying that you apologize a lot when all your apologies are just lies and then you backtrack on them. I don't think you apologize a lot, but okay, whatever.
Know that if you are a smaller creator, I will always support you, because I want to tell you a secret. Malibu Dollface has 600,000 subscribers. And when I was a tiny little channel, Malibu was like interacting with me. He let me use his videos. He gave me permission to use his stuff. Like, he was such a sweet person. And like, that's how I feel like all creators should be. Like, you are nice to me and I'll be nice to you, without an agenda, without a motive.
Right. Roll back to the live that I showed you of Katie Joy mocking a mother of a dead child. And then tell me how this is not bullshit.
Thank you guys for listening to me. And Tati, like, just admit you did something wrong and stop pretending like you're gonna sue everyone that points out exactly what you did. I would love to be sued, seriously. I mean, I'm not saying like sue me, but like, imagine the discovery. I can't even. Anyways, bye guys.
Things that age like milk. The hypocrisy of saying that Tati should admit that she did something wrong when you never admit you did anything wrong, but you claim you do, but you don't. And again, the suing part, it aged like milk. So, good fucking job. Can't even imagine being sued. Well, now you can, so good luck with that.
So last year, I wrote a piece, and after doing that, I had received a letter from her attorneys, and after which I received that letter, I cleaned up the article, and I completely changed the way that the article was put together, and I took out any of the things that would have been claims or inaccurate or potentially false.
So this is another video that was still on her channel. The part that was cropped out there randomly was, I think, edited by her in the YouTube studio, because that's how the video was. I just wanted to show this part because I thought it's kind of funny how she's saying that there were parts in the article on James and Tati that were potentially untrue and couldn't be proven, but before she was singing a different tune. She was saying that everything was factual. She only portrays facts. She doesn't talk about rumors and allegations. But now she is saying no, some things were maybe false. So why did you put them out and pretend that they were true? Did you deliberately mislead people?
And I learned a lot. I did. I learned a lot through that experience. And after I did that, they were like, yes, you definitely made these corrections, but it's not enough. And then I subsequently received more letters from them, 4 in fact. And I was afraid that I was not able to share them because they said in the letter that if I published it, it would be against copyright infringement, even in part or in full, and that they would take legal grounds against me if I even spoke about it or published it. So I was like afraid that if I said anything, that I would get in trouble. And at the time, I didn't have an attorney. Fast forward to today, and I do have an attorney who represents me and handles all of this kind of stuff for me. And I was able to send him over all of the stuff I had received. And I said, hey, if they actually said that I can't talk about this, is that true? And can I actually show people a couple of the things in which they said? And my attorney told me that under fair use, I am able to publish whatever it is that I want, as long as I'm not taking the entirety of something and I'm not using it in a way to be malicious. And I'm not here to do anything maliciously. I'm just showing you like what it was that she was mad at me, or not maybe mad at me, but they were upset that I had made these statements.
As everybody in the community channel has already said, I just felt the need to again point out, you received 4 cease and desist and you didn't stop. So it's on you. You hired an attorney, it means you were suspecting something was gonna happen since you thought about hiring one. But now you acted surprised about being sued. Like, it makes no sense.
But one of the things that I was looking at was she had sent me a letter, or she didn't. A letter was sent to my former company that I was writing for at the time, and then I was copied on it. And one of the statements in which she did not want me to she wanted me to retract, was that this is what it said. During her Bye Sister video, Westbrook offered no proof for any of her claims. She said a phone call from James Charles made her want to vomit. Then she proceeded to go off about how the young model prays them into trysts. And then the response from them was, the above statement is utterly and maliciously disparaging, false, and merit. Miss Westbrook's statements in regards were based upon her firsthand observations of Mr. Charles. I don't necessarily like the fact that at the time that this happened, I was a very small creator. I had only 4,000 subscribers, and I felt like I was literally being
told that if I didn't do something, I was going to lose my career. Now, looking back, I realize there wouldn't have been anything for her to do if she even were to pull up and say, like, Katie, I'm going to do this. We're going to follow through. I'm still within the statute of guidelines. Like, literally everything that I put up is gone. And it would also open up so many doors that she would have to answer to, which is why in so many reasons these cases never happen. And then she'd have to actually prove that what I said directly is the result of her company losing money, which would be next to impossible because, in my belief, my sister and that other video were the predominant reasons that people stopped believing her. Because after James Charles put out his No More Lies video and he had all these receipts, people started to realize, oh, well, he's bringing receipts. Tati didn't bring receipts. So who do we believe? Well, James is showing us what he has and Tati didn't.
Again, things that age like milk. This lawsuits never happened because she can prove whatever. It seems to me like she has a pretty well done lawsuit paperwork and everything that she was going to serve to you. So yeah, I think that you were wrong and maybe delete this video because it's embarrassing.
And I made a comment that I had been told by someone close to James, which is true, that he was still considering lawsuits, or at one point was considering a lawsuit against people involved in what happened last year. And I suddenly get messages in my DMs from people that this is what they said, and I'm not going to out the person because I don't feel comfortable, but this is what they told me. I think you should stop posting and delete anything bad about the Westbrooks. And I say that because I want to help you. Please, please, please just trust me. And then they wrote, I think for your own safety, you should not talk about them. Full transparency, there was a lawsuit pending and they want you to just not mention them, good or bad. They did not ask me to speak to you. I reached out on my own, but I wanted to make sure you are safe and protected. And then they said, I would maybe issue an apology. And then they wrote this. I would just say, like, when everything happened last year, it seemed like Tati and her husband wanted to take down their friend over vitamins. But now it's clear that they were simply pawns in a big game of chess, and they apologized to them for what I've put out there and hope that a checkmate is coming soon.
Yeah, again, the person is James Charles. She said this later, so I don't understand tiptoeing around it unless she wanted to gain something ulterior from James Charles. And maybe that's why she was concealing his identity. Otherwise, I don't see a reason that she was doing this.
Plaintiff is informed and believes that Huron alleges that Mr. Westbrook has been sued before and is currently being sued in Los Angeles Superior Court for the failure to repay a 6-figure loan. See Hawks versus Westbrook. Now, if you know, this was one of the things that they wanted me to take off of YouTube. I had exposed this lawsuit, and they actually admitted in their filing to the court that they found out about the lawsuit through my video and my blog. They also say that they also reference that shady deal with James Westbrook and his sisters with his mother's estate. And they say Mr. Westbrook was ordered to pay his sister's legal fees after she was forced to go to court to stop him from trying to sell his late mother's home and abscond with the profits. They reference the lawsuit in Hawaii, and they say that online sources have reported that he has been convicted of drug crimes. What I had uncovered clearly has become a part of this lawsuit, which could be reasons why the Westbrooks wanted to take the stuff off of my channel, because they maybe didn't want their people to know about it and maybe wanted it offline in the event that something happened. But the problem is that these are public records, and so anyone can find them.
Again, with the public record saying anyone can find them, but you are the one who did because you're the only one who's unstable and unhinged enough to search for something like this. And like, this is a random thing unrelated to the video, but did you guys notice that James Westbrook kind of looks like Tati? Like, it's so weird when you see couples that like resemble each other. It could be like cousins or siblings. It's like a bit weird.
Ultimately, the stuff that I uncovered seems to be a factor here because it's a pattern of behavior that Mr. Swanson believes contributes to fraudulent behavior by Mr. Westbrook. The fact that he liquidated the money out of Halo is reminiscent of what he did to his mother's property before everything happened. He basically liquidated all the assets out of his mother's property by taking out mortgages, reverse mortgages, to get all the cash liquid assets out. So by taking out all of these loans against his mother assets, he effectively devalued all of the money from the assets that he would have had to split with his siblings, and he got the money and they got nothing. Now, when it comes to this, it seems like he's doing the same thing again, where they're going to fight over money and he's going to devalue it by taking the money out and then leaving them with nothing.
Right, so maybe it is a pattern of behavior, maybe that part is true. But let me know in the comments down below, guys. Do you think that Clark Swanson got his information from fucking Katie Joy's videos? Because to me it sounds like a stretch, and I don't think that's true. I think he would have looked into it, and his lawyers would have looked into it in the same way that Katie did. If it's as public as she claims, then they would have found it too. Or he would have known from his friendship / professional relationship with the Westbrooks beforehand. So I don't think that Katie Joy, I just think she has like such illusions of grandeur that are insane to me. I don't think she had anything to do with that whole thing, and I think that if she's being involved in the Clark Swanson versus the Westbrooks lawsuit situation, then it is solely because Clark Swanson wanted someone else to distract from the lawsuit, or Tati wanted someone else to distract from her reputation being tarnished. So if she's being used as a scapegoat like she claims, it's not for Jeffree Star, it's just to get the main lawsuit out of the spotlight. And I don't think that's something to brag about.
Now, it was like a 7-minute rant where she went on and on and on about how she can't believe that nobody tuned in, that nobody watched it, that it must be YouTube's fault. She even admits to calling YouTube and asking them if she did something wrong or if something is going on. Imagine your video doesn't perform and you call YouTube.
Do all Americans pronounce imagine like that? Like, I'm genuine, I've never heard anybody in Britain, where I live in England, say imagine. Like, imagine, or like whatever she said. Like, is this like an American thing? Like, I'm genuine, I'm not mocking. Again, every time I say something about America, I have to preface this by saying I'm not making fun of Americans. I'm genuinely like curious because I've never been to America, so it's just, I don't know. It's funny how she pronounced it though. But yeah, this is a video that like, it's a bit random, but I thought I'll add it to the whole pile of Without a Crystal Ball bullying Tati, because this is genuinely so obsessive. She's talking about how Tati had one video that flopped, and Tati apparently contacted YouTube to ask why that happened, which is a bit of a Karen behavior, I will admit, but don't act like you wouldn't do the same, Katie Joy, because I know you would. Katie Joy is contacting her YouTube manager all the time, so it's not like she doesn't have a pattern of doing the very same thing. Katie Joy making fun of Tati for her views flopping is also very telling, because Katie Joy's own views are flopping compared to her subscriber counts, so I don't really think that you should talk. It's like the pot calls the kettle black. Is that the saying in English? It sounds like that anyways.
It messes me up. Like, I love this platform, and I haven't always agreed with everything that they've done. I've always advocated for a more fair playground, you know, so I like that they're giving attention to creators that are on the, hopefully this is just a glitch. It was a really ridiculously giant
So she like, did you see how that cut out? Like, she was complaining about how smaller subscribers are getting like a bigger push into the algorithm. That's what she's saying. She's saying YouTube is promoting smaller creators instead of her.
So this is literally Katie Joy lying to our faces, like we didn't just hear what Tati said. And also, those editing mistakes where the video capture is like glitching, that's not from me, just so you know, it's from her. Her fucking editing is so dreadful for somebody with so many subs that I have no words. Anyways, saying that Tati said that YouTube shouldn't push small subscribers, when we heard Tati saying literally 5 seconds ago she's glad that YouTube is pushing smaller subscribers. Now, do I think that that is genuine? I don't know. I don't know if it's genuine. I don't know if she means it or if she's just saying this to appear nice, but if we can't prove that she's lying, we can't do anything but take what she says as face value. Like, that's the only option here. So I don't understand why Katie Joy is lying to our faces when we heard what Tati said, and now she's saying that she said the opposite. Like, we're not stupid. I don't get it.
But what I find very off-putting about this is that she's like, and I'll be there in the comments with you guys because I really love that. And you know, I just need to get back to that. And I think that's the part that has a lot of people just very irritated about her, is that she just is acts like she's over it and she's just so above everyone.
I don't understand how she acts like she's above everyone by saying that she wants to interact with her subscribers. I genuinely don't get what she's saying, and I don't know why she claims that many people are irritated by that. I want to see those many people. Is it a figment of your own imagination, Katie, or is it genuinely stuff that you've seen in the comments when this whole thing was unfolding? Because I think she pulled it out of her ass and she said many people said it.
I mean, part of being on YouTube is that even if you get big, you are still like no bigger than your audience, to be honest. You have to be grateful for your audience, and one of the best things you can do as a creator is interact with your community, right?
So the lack of self-awareness, once again, when a few months ago you were preaching this, and now you are harassing a woman who lost her child. But you said you should be grateful for your audience. Like, where is your gratitude, Katie Joy? Where is it?
Nothing drives me more crazy than someone that just can't maybe look inside of themselves and be like, you know, insightful, that maybe people aren't tuning in because of what happened. Maybe your content isn't that great, and maybe people just are really turned off by your attitude and your entitlement.
Yeah, again, maybe you should take a mirror and say this to yourself, K-Joy. This is today's video, and honestly, if this showed me anything, like if looking at this back, it shows me that this person has no personality, no real opinions. She just says whatever she wants at the moment, but then changes her mind like 5 seconds later. And I hope that I never meet someone like this in real life, because it would drive me insane. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, give it a thumbs down. I don't care. Leave me a comment what you think about the whole situation. Subscribe to my channel for more commentary. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Ever since the day that you